And former Speaker of the Oklahoma House, T.W. Shannon, joins us now. T.W., welcome. Glad to see you this afternoon. This is pretty outrageous. Hey, great to have you here. Pretty outrageous, though, if you heard Christina's report. You look at what the Biden administration is doing. Our southern border wide open, regardless of what this administration says. Anybody can come in here. The red carpet is rolled out. They get flown wherever they want to. But yet, if you want to get out of Israel right now, you're a U.S. citizen. Commercial flights are limited if you can get one at all. Many people don't have the means to get out. Now this administration is saying you're going to have to pay for it if we get you out of there.
This is just cruelty, Gene. I mean, at the end of the day, what Americans now know is what we've known from the very beginning is you can't depend on Joe Biden regardless of the situation, whether it was the failed pullout of Afghanistan. Now we're looking at, stranded Americans in war zones, in the Middle East. And if you do get out, you're going to have to pay the government. I mean, when was the last time anybody said, thank God for Joe Biden? This is a national security matter. And what we've seen time and time again from the Biden administration is a lack of putting Americans first. As you mentioned, illegals can cross into our border. We're spending billions of dollars to secure Ukraine's border. We're arming Ukrainian citizens while the Democrats are calling to disarm Americans. We've got to get back to basics in America, and that starts with the America First agenda. And Joe Biden is just not up to the task. And this is probably just the latest of a measure of just cruel policies that are harming Americans, not just domestically, but clearly across the globe.
And, I'd like to welcome in somebody who knows a lot about these secret migrant flights as well as witnessed them firsthand. Rob Astorino, host of Saturday Agenda. Rob, glad to have you with us as well. I mean, you've talked about these flights quite a bit. They've come from New York. We've seen them down in Tennessee, other states as well. What do you think about the Biden administration making these evacuees pay the administration back, especially when you have, others, like Corey Mills down in Florida, working to get these people home for free?
It's beyond outrageous, Jen. I mean, honestly, I would be so angry if my family members were stuck there and trying to get home, and the only way they could go is by the U.S. government. You're so excited to see that flag and help from your government to get out of this war zone, and then you're going to get stuck with a bill. Oh, and probably food and water not included. That's extra. This is total insanity, but this is why Joe Biden is so disliked now by Americans across all spectrums. It's just like, he's not equipped to lead this country. And as was just said, we're providing free meals, free clothes, free phones, free education, free health care, free everything, including flights, as you mentioned, to Westchester and everywhere else for those who are not supposed to be here. So there's no distinction anymore between citizen and non-citizens, certainly not between those in a war zone, our own citizens, and those coming over for economic reasons. They're not allowed to be here in the first place.
TW, I want to ask you, too, about what we've been seeing here at home. A lot of pro-Palestine rallies happening in our cities, on college campuses. We saw one happening outside of the White House yesterday. We see members of the squad calling for a ceasefire. Your reaction to that here in our homeland?
Well, first, let's start referring to them as the squad. Let's call them what they are. They are the Hamas caucus. They have clearly sided against the American people with terrorists. And it's sad, and it's no surprise to me that you've got groups like BLM. This is what happens, Jen, when you proliferate a culture that is built upon this idea of victimhood. When you become a victim and you tell people for generations that they're victims, then all of a sudden hopelessness sets in. And that's exactly what we've seen across the globe. That's what we see with many of the major groups in the left who have promulgated this idea of victimhood. And then when you become a victim, all of a sudden the value of human life goes away. And so it's a sad state of affairs, but the fact that we have elected officials in the halls of Congress who are actually catering to these groups, it's just sad and it's scary, particularly against our closest ally, Israel, who certainly has the right to defend itself, and it certainly has the right to exist in this cruel world. They are the greatest hope of freedom and liberty in that region, and we should be supporting them, not condemning them and making it tougher for them to exist in that very tough neighborhood.
It's so true, TW. And Rob, you know, you drive past the Holocaust Museum here in Washington, D.C., just outside of the National Mall. And it's shocking to see right now, here we are in 2023, the rise in anti-Semitism that we've seen, obviously on the world stage, but even here in the U.S. and these rallies that we're watching play out. I mean, how can these people support the terror, the level of terror that we're seeing in Israel right now? What do you say to the Jewish community out there? I mean, I know so many that are feeling like they have a target on their back, even if they live here in the United States, with little support, especially from some in elected office.
You know, look, we have Israel's back. Anti-Semitism is not acceptable. But, you know, by the left's own standard of hate speech, shouldn't the Squad and all these people who are protesting in favor of Hamas and Palestinians, shouldn't their rhetoric, what's on their placards and what they say, you know, from the river to the sea, which means getting rid of Israel, demolishing, destroying Israel and everybody in its path, shouldn't they be, I don't know, not only condemned but arrested for hate speech, which is what they're always pushing for anybody who they disagree with? You know, if you're in favor of Republicans, if you're against abortion, you know, all this nonsense with gender, if you don't agree with that, it's hate speech and you should go to jail. Well, interesting how the silence on the left today for those in Hollywood and the politicians and corporations, how they were so quick in the past to jump out and claim hate speech and condemn it, and now all of a sudden, boop.
It is incredible. A number, especially in Hollywood, putting out statements and then retracting them. A lot to learn about people that you thought you knew. Rob Astorino, TW Shannon, thank you both for taking time today. Great to see you.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Jen.